Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights! When last we left off, we got into the inner sanctum of the Source Stone, found Morag, and killed Morag. And with that, Hedronine has made this small astral pocket that we could use to escape from the collapsing Source Stone and go back to our world, before she finally goes to her eternal rest, confident that the creator race will never return. We have not only saved our world, but thousands of other worlds linked to the Source Stone that would have fallen to Morag's armies. And so, with victory assured, and our legend also secured, it is time to leave. Also, we're level 16 now, so we should prepare some more spells. Like Finger of Death, and ooh, we can prepare another spell here too. True Seeing! Why not? Any more? No? Oh, we get one more third level spell. Greater Magic Fang, because I never figured out how to use Magic Fang. We'll just rest. Oh, well, let's look at our quest log. Let's have a look. Neverwinter under siege. The final battle. Yep. The invaders are quickly routed by the newly inspired Neverwinter forces. Well, that's good. We have no more quests. We've literally done every single quest. Every single quest. And now, let's go to our ending. Not surprisingly, the ending cutscene did not record. Neither did any of the credits. Although we do have the credits from the other expansions. Shame I can't actually just load it. I mean, I could load up the movies. I mean, you can just click there and I could load up the credits, but it just won't load, unfortunately. So I will give you the summary of what the ending cutscene was, and unfortunately it was quite lackluster. Morag perished, and with Morag dead, the Source Stone's power collapsed, and all of the creator race within it died. And the power of the death of the creator race was such that it was felt all through Neverwinter, and the Luskan armies faltered, and with that, the Neverwinter army won. Somehow. They never really quite explain how the Neverwinter army won, considering how broken they were and how few there were of them, but they still won. And, the Luskan armies were defeated and routed, and Neverwinter had paid a high price for its victory, but rather than be full of regret and sadness, they decided to instead press forward and rebuild, because remember what happened the last time we did that? Kind of all went a bit bad for them in the long run. And so, Neverwinter rebuilds and prospers, but then it goes, but what of the hero who saved everyone when others failed? Well, nobody knows, for there are limitless tales, basically saying, you can use this to build your own modules. And he went off to go and do things. Things being a very vague term, but basically it was a very open-ended and quite lackluster ending. It went to no detail to explain what happened to you, or Nasha, or Arabeth, or anyone. Except Morag, and you who survived, and Morag dying. That's pretty much all it explains. And that, with that lackluster cutscene that you didn't see, unfortunately, and I am sorry that all the way through this you've not been able to see these cutscenes, that is the end of Neverwinter Nights. Neverwinter Nights is done. It is completed. The Neverwinter Nights has been finished. Shadows of Undrentide and Hordes of the Underdark. They are all done. We have gone full circle, starting with Shadows of Undrentide with Barry Coleman, and moving on to Hordes of the Underdark with Barry Coleman, and then Sar'ken Smith with the core Neverwinter game. We have done all three of the basic modules. There are a few more other modules. There is the Contest of Champions, and Kingmaker, and Shadow Guard, Witch's Wake. But I wanted to do the basic ones, the basic three here. And that has been done. The story has gone full circle. And compared to the other two, Neverwinter Nights is a disappointment. It did come first. Neverwinter Nights was very much a sort of, almost a proof of concept of how the engine works. It has a lot of flaws that were refined later in the Shadows of Undrentide and Hordes of the Underdark, the questing was not very good, and the henchman system left a lot to be desired as you couldn't change the equipment of your companions. The fact that you could only have one really wasn't sorted until Hordes of the Underdark. But, basically I think Hordes of the Underdark got it the best, and Shadows of Undrentide was a lot better. There are so many rough edges around the original Neverwinter Nights campaign that you can see just by looking at it. The dialogue, the fact that lots of things could be seen from an absolute mile away. Admittedly, the same could be said about the twist in Hordes of the Underdark, but some of that was just being genre savvy with D&D more than anything else. Is Neverwinter Nights still an enjoyable game? Yeah, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed playing it, but it wasn't as good as Shadows of Undrentide or Hordes of the Underdark, which is a pity, but sort of to be expected. But still very enjoyable. And I'd encourage people who play these games to give the Neverwinter Nights core campaign a try. I mean, it's still pretty good. And without that core campaign, we would not have had Shadows of Undrentide or Hordes of the Underdark. So it does sort of have that going for it, in that that was what triggered the creation of those other modules, which were fantastic. If you don't play the Neverwinter Nights core campaign, play Shadows of Undrentide and Hordes of the Underdark, because they are really, really good. Really good. You just make a character in Shadows of Undrentide, play all the way through that, import them into the next one, lose all your equipment, get it all back later when you have better equipment. Really good modules. Generally, Neverwinter Nights was a game I picked up. This was after Baldur's Gate. I had Baldur's Gate 1, I had Baldur's Gate 2, and then I picked up Neverwinter Nights. And when I was younger, it initially disappointed me. But now that I'm older, I can appreciate some of the things that it's done. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It hasn't aged well, is probably the best way I could describe it. Compared to, like, Baldur's Gate 2, which has aged well, in terms of its appearance, there are still some things in Baldur's Gate 2 that are very clunky now that you look back at it from the perspective now, but Neverwinter Nights has aged far worse, and the core campaign has aged worse than the other two. But it's still really fun. The music is good, the combat, well, if you know much about D&D, you can definitely take advantage of some things that wouldn't work in tabletop. The combat is still good, and I really enjoyed it. And I'd encourage, as I said before, anybody who wants to give it a try, give Neverwinter Nights a try. If not the core campaign, then the two modules. But give the core campaign a look as well. It does complete the circle, so to speak. It is a whole story, because there are things in the two modules that are referencing the original. Not to mention an entire companion that really heavily is referencing the original. And although we do not know what the fate of Arabeth is, we can pretty much guess from Hordes of the Underdark what happened. And so, that there is Neverwinter Nights. It is over, and it has been a long, long Let's Play, and one I've really enjoyed. But now that Neverwinter Nights is over, and Sar'ken and Crumpet can finally rest, or as it says, go on unlimited adventures, I don't think they're going to be going on any unlimited adventures anytime soon. If I ever come back to any of these modules, it will be the newer modules, or the other modules in that tab, it will be quite a while in the future. For I think I've played a lot of the Neverwinter Nights 1 engine, and I think it's time to give it a bit of a rest. And Sar'ken and Barry and everyone else can all have a rest, a reprieve from adventuring. Oh, it's been a long time since I started Neverwinter Nights. I'm going to miss it. It's been a staple of uploading for quite a while, and the Dungeons & Dragons generally itself, bit of a staple. Gonna be sad to see it go, but all Let's Plays come to an end eventually, and this one is no exception. So, what is to come after Neverwinter Nights? Who can say? I can say, however, that a role-play game slot has now opened. There was a role-playing game here, now it is ended. There is a slot for another one. I don't know if it's going to be a long one, a really long one like Neverwinter Nights, or a shorter one. I can't say for sure on that. I've got a lot to ponder there. But I am certainly still tempted with doing a role-playing game. definitely tempted with it. But that is for another time and more pondering. For now, we have saved Neverwinter and the whole of the Forgotten Realms, and the whole of thousands of other worlds from the creator race. And with that, I think that's something that can pretty much be said as a success. Well done, Sar'ken. And Crumpet. Let's not forget Crumpet here. So, I'm Kikoskia, and that was Let's Play Neverwinter Nights, the core campaign. And when we come back, folks, who knows? Who knows what's to come? It is a mystery that in time we will be able to solve. So, I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later. Oh, and one more thing just to note. Apart from the very first video of the core campaign, where it was character selection, every single video has a bear in the thumbnail. Every single video has Crumpet, or another bear in the thumbnail. So, I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.